The Galactic Council chamber was designed to humble. Polished black stone rose in pillars 200 meters high, each carved with the sigils of 1,000 civilizations. Light refracted through crystalline ceilings, scattering across the floor in shifting, prismatic hues. The benches, tiered like an amphitheater, circled a vast hollow core where delegates floated in grav chairs. The air itself seemed heavy, as if the room pressed down on those who entered. Commander Elias Kale had walked these halls many times, but he never forgot their purpose. The architecture wasn't just aesthetic, it was intimidation carved in stone. Humanity, the newest voice at this table of empires, was expected to remember its place. He stood behind Ambassador Rena Salas, his posture rigid, eyes scanning for threats. His uniform was simple, dark navy with the crest of Earth, but Kale carried himself like a weapon. His gaze flicked over every alien delegate, every drone, every movement. At Rena's side, her daughter sat quietly in a smaller grav chair. Leora was 10 years old, small for her age, with bright eyes that reflected the chamber's fractured light. She had begged to attend, and the council had permitted it as a symbol of innocence. The girl's presence was meant to soften humanity's image. To Kale, she was a liability. Still, he had promised Rena he would protect the child. He had made promises before and broken them. This one he intended to keep. The session began with ritual formality. Delegates announced grievances, trade disputes, military maneuvers, all spoken in the sing-song cadence of diplomatic theater. The council was a cathedral of procedure, but beneath it writhed power and ambition. When humanity's turn came, Ambassador Rena rose. "Honored Council," she began, her voice steady. "Earth submits the proposal for equitable trade corridors. Our people seek partnership, not dominion. We—" A sharp crack split the chamber. Kale's instincts moved before thought. His arms swept Leora down, his body covering hers as he scanned for origin. Delegates screamed, grav chairs spun. Security drones dropped from the ceiling, weapons primed. Rena froze, her words severed mid-sentence. Her gaze fixed on her daughter. Kale looked down. Blood pooled across the white fabric of the girl's ceremonial robe. A hole the size of his thumb marked her chest. Her small hands twitched once, then stilled. The chamber erupted. Alien voices thundered in dozens of tongues. Some shouted accusations, others demanded calm. Holographic screens flashed alerts. Yet Kale saw only the girl, her lifeless eyes staring into the crystalline dome above. "Medic!" he barked, though he knew it was useless. Rena collapsed beside her child, a sound tearing from her throat that silenced even the nearest delegates. Kale stood, fists clenched, jaw tight. His eyes tracked upward. There. A drone tucked high among the rafters, still warm from discharge. The Council's own security machines. His blood ran cold. The Chancellor of Security, Varith of the Threx Dominion, floated forward. His long, spined form coiled in the grav chair like a predator. His voice carried, smooth and deliberate. "A tragedy," Varith declared. "Our systems intercepted transmissions from a rogue human cell. They have sought to disrupt this assembly." Lies. Too swift, too prepared. Kale stepped forward, voice low but sharp. "That drone was Council issue. Your systems fired the shot." Varith's black eyes gleamed. "Evidence indicates otherwise. Perhaps humans brought their chaos here themselves. Shall we review your history of violence?" The chamber murmured. Many delegates shifted uncomfortably but did not protest. Humanity had no allies strong enough to speak. Ambassador Rena lifted her daughter's body into her arms. Her face was ash, her voice broken. "You murdered a child," she whispered. "Contain your grief," Varith replied. "The Council cannot be disrupted by human theatrics." Kale's hand twitched toward his sidearm. He stopped himself. Killing a Chancellor here would condemn Earth forever. But the urge burned through him. Instead, he forced his words like steel. "Investigate properly. Show the chamber all records. If you do not, this is no council, it is theater for tyrants." Some delegates stirred at that, Yet Varith only coiled tighter, a thin smile twisting across his alien features. "The Council will deliberate sanctions against Earth for this disruption," he announced. Kale's vision narrowed. Sanctions, perhaps even expulsion. They kill a child, frame humanity, and then condemn Earth for protesting. It was not negligence. It was design. As guards moved to escort the humans out, Kale leaned close to Rena. Her face was hollow, grief consuming her. He spoke quietly, words for her alone. "I swear to you," he said, "this was no accident. I'll find the truth. They won't bury this." Her eyes flicked to his, desperate, barely alive. "Don't fail her," she whispered. Kale turned his gaze to the Chancellor one last time. Varith met it, unblinking, confident. A predator certain of victory. The chamber doors closed behind them, the Council resuming as if nothing had happened. Outside, the corridor stretched wide, walls lined with alien banners. Human envoys trailed behind, whispering in panic. Rumors spread. Earth would be censured, Earth might be expelled, Earth could be quarantined. Kale ignored them all. His mind replayed the shot, the drone, the Chancellor's too-ready speech. A conspiracy this bold meant more than one faction. Humanity had been marked. He stopped at the observation window overlooking the planet below, the Council core world, a city that never slept. Spires stabbed into atmosphere, fleets drifted like silver insects across the void. Against such scale, Earth seemed small, fragile. But fragility was a lie. Kale knew his people. He had seen them fight wars they were never meant to survive, and survive still. He had seen resilience no other species could match. They endured. They adapted. And when cornered, they became something else entirely. The Council thought killing a child would break them. They did not understand. Kale's reflection in the glass was hard, eyes shadowed. He placed a hand flat against the window as if touching the stars beyond. "Liara," he murmured, "I won't let them erase you." Behind him, the delegation waited for his orders. Ambassador Rena was silent, grief-stricken, but the others looked to him. Not as diplomat, but as protector. "Return to quarters," he told them. "Keep records secured. No comms until I say. They'll try to twist every word." "And you?" one aide asked. Kale's jaw tightened. "I start digging." The aide hesitated. "If the Council is behind this, then the galaxy just made a mistake." Kale cut him off. His voice carried no heat, only iron certainty. He turned, coat flaring slightly as he strode down the corridor. Already his mind worked angles, networks, places to search. He would find proof, or die trying. The Council thought humanity weak. Tonight they had spilled innocent blood to prove it. But Kale knew better. And when Earth was forced to reveal its true face, the galaxy would learn a lesson it would never forget. The human quarters on the Council core world were quiet, far too quiet for a delegation accused of murder. Guards had been stationed outside, not for protection, but to confine them. The silence pressed in like a cage. Commander Elias Kale didn't rest. He moved through the rooms like a shadow, eyes sharp, mind burning. The grief of Ambassador Rena lingered in the air. She had locked herself away with her daughter's body. The others whispered anxiously, debating whether to send messages back to Earth. Kale gave one order only: silence. Every channel could be intercepted, twisted into more falsehoods. Instead, he slipped out alone. His clearance still granted him access through the spires of the city world. He wore no uniform now, only plain dark clothes, the mark of a man fading into the alleys. The lower tiers of the capital were another world, far from the shining council dome. Neon signs and alien glyphs blinked above narrow streets. The air smelled of ozone, spice, and refuse. Markets thrummed with species trading goods banned in the halls above. Information, Kale knew, was traded here as easily as food. He found his first lead in a smoke-filled den where mercenaries lingered. A towering reptilian recognized him instantly. "You shouldn't be here, human. Cameras everywhere." "I'm not here to be seen," Kale answered. I need eyes that watched the council chamber yesterday. Not official feeds. Shadows. The mercenary's slitted eyes narrowed. Dangerous trade. What's in it? Truth, Kale said. He slid a data chit across the table. And credits. Minutes later, he was watching stolen feeds from the chamber, angles the council never released. On one, the assassin drone detached from its holding port moments before the shot. No override alerts, no alarms. The systems had accepted the command as authorized. Kale froze the frame, enhancing until the authorization code flickered across the image. Council-level encryption. Only a handful of entities could grant that. One of them was Chancellor Vareth. The mercenary leaned over his shoulder. You didn't see this from me. That code alone will make you vanish. Kale pocketed the chit. Then it's worth more than my life. Back in the upper spires, the council spun its net tighter. Announcements filled the public feeds. Earth under investigation for aggression. Sanctions pending. Protector fleets to ensure stability. It was working. Other delegations distanced themselves, unwilling to be seen defending a violent species. Humanity was being isolated piece by piece. Kale met with a contact in a shadowed corridor, an Andari scholar named Sarek, one of the few who still treated him as more than an animal. You've been marked, Sarek whispered, his voice like rustling leaves. The Chancellor wants Earth excised before you grow stronger. Why? Kale demanded. We're no threat to their fleets. Sarek's eyes shimmered faintly. Not yet. But I've read the old records. Your kind rises too fast. Empires fear what they cannot slow. And there are rumors. Whispers that Earth hides something older than your council membership. Kale's tone sharpened. What kind of whispers? The scholar hesitated. A weapon. Or a guardian. A remnant from a forgotten age. Few believe it, but the Chancellor does. Perhaps that is why he moves against you now. Kale felt a chill. He had heard fragments of such myths when he was a child, stories of a sleeping warrior beneath ice and stone. He had dismissed them as legends. Yet Sarek's fear was real. Where did you hear this? Kale pressed. From species older than the Council itself. They say humanity once stood on a different path, one that ended in fire. Something was buried, locked away. If it wakes, the balance of the galaxy shifts. Kale absorbed the words in silence. If true, Earth was not just a political inconvenience, it was a threat to the galaxy's order itself. Sarek touched his arm. Careful, Kale. Dig too deep, and you may prove them right. That night, the Council struck harder. Explosions rocked the human embassy on a nearby moon. Dozens of staff were killed. The official report blamed human extremists. Kale read the sensor logs himself. The weapons used were alien, repurposed Council munitions. He slammed the tablet shut. They're burning every trace of us. Ambassador Rena emerged from her isolation at last. Her face was hollow, eyes rimmed in red, but her voice cut through the room. Elias, what are we facing? Kale didn't soften his words. An orchestrated purge. They'll brand us terrorists, drive us out, and when Earth resists, they'll send fleets. It's already in motion. Rena clenched her fists. Then what's left? We can't outvote them, can't outgun them. Kale hesitated, then spoke the words he had buried since Sarek's warning. There are stories of something hidden on Earth. An ancient construct. A warrior. The aides muttered, disbelief and fear mixing. Rena fixed him with hollow eyes. My daughter is dead, Elias. Don't give me fairy tales. They believe it, Kale said. That's why they're moving so fast. They fear what we might awaken. Rena's grief flared into anger. And if it's real? Would you unleash it? Kale didn't answer. Not yet. The next day, the council convened an emergency session. Kale stood behind the delegation as Vareth's voice filled the chamber. Evidence confirms human extremists targeted the council yesterday. For galactic security, Earth must submit to external oversight. Fleets will ensure compliance. A wave of agreement rippled through the chamber. Some species hesitated, but none opposed outright. Humanity was alone. Kale's jaw locked. He could almost hear the Chancellor's victory in the silence. When the session adjourned, Kale walked the long corridor out. His boots echoed on the polished stone. Outside the tall windows, the city glowed under alien stars. He felt the weight of inevitability pressing down. War was coming, whether Earth chose it or not. The only choice left was how humanity would meet it, on its knees, or standing. At the docking bay, Kale keyed a secure channel to Earth. His voice was steady, but beneath it lay a fire that would not be quenched. "This is Commander Kale. Prepare the deep vaults. If the stories are true, it's time we remembered who we are." He closed the channel before doubt could follow. The shuttle tore through Earth's atmosphere, flames streaming across its hull as Commander Elias Kale pressed a hand against the restraint. The planet spread below, oceans, mountains, clouds lit by dawn. He had never seen it look so fragile. Fleets gathered on the edges of the solar system, alien armadas tightening their noose. Time was running out. The craft touched down on the Antarctic plateau. Wind howled across endless ice, cutting through his coat like blades. A team of black-suited guardians waited at the landing zone, keepers of a secret hidden for millennia. Their leader, an elder named Asha, approached. Her lined face bore no warmth. "You know why I've come," Kale said. Her eyes narrowed. "Many have come seeking the warrior. None have walked away unchanged. Why should we trust you with it?" Kale met her gaze. "Because they killed our child in their council. Because fleets gather to erase us. If we do nothing, Earth burns." Asha studied him for a long, cold moment, then finally nodded. "Follow." They led him across the ice to a cavern mouth sealed with stone and metal older than history. Symbols scarred the surface, warnings in forgotten tongues. The gate opened with a groan, revealing a tunnel that descended deep beneath the continent. The air grew warmer, heavy with power. Walls of black alloy reflected faint light, veins of energy pulsing faintly beneath. They reached a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. At the center rested a colossus, half statue, half machine. A humanoid form of iron and crystal, kneeling as though in prayer. The ancient warrior. Kale felt its presence before he touched it. A weight pressed into his mind, testing him. Asha's voice was quiet. "It is sentient. It chooses." Kale stepped forward. His reflection shimmered across its armor. "Wake," he whispered. "Your people need you." For a heartbeat nothing happened. Then light flickered across its chest, crawling up to its eyes. The chamber vibrated as energy surged through conduits. A voice, deep and resonant, filled the air, inside his head and around him at once. "Who calls me from sleep?" Kale straightened. "Commander Elias Kale of Earth. Why disturb my silence? They murdered our child. They gather fleets to destroy us. We will not survive without you." The warrior's head turned slightly, eyes glowing like molten suns. "Your kind swore never to wake me again. You feared what I am." Kale didn't flinch. "Then fear has no place anymore. If we die, the oath means nothing." Silence stretched. Then, slowly, the warrior rose. The ground trembled beneath its weight. "Very well. If extinction is the alternative, I will walk once more. But know this, Commander, when I fight, the galaxy remembers." Kale met the blazing eyes. "Then let them remember." Hours later, the Council fleet arrived in orbit, hundreds of warships encircling Earth like predators around prey. Chancellor Veritha's voice echoed across every channel. "Humans of Earth, submit or be destroyed. You have no allies, no future." Kale stood within Earth's Defense Command, the warrior towering behind the reinforced hangar walls. His voice cut through the transmission. "We've heard enough," he signaled. The hangar doors split open. The warrior stepped into the light, rising like a mountain of steel. Its frame unfolded wings of energy, each sweep igniting the sky. The alien fleet shuddered at the sight. Some hesitated, others adjusted weapons. "Engage," Varith ordered. Lances of plasma cut through the atmosphere. Earth's defense satellites fired back, their beams tearing into the first wave. Human ships, old but stubborn, surged from orbit. They were outnumbered 10-1. It didn't matter. The warrior launched upward with a sound like thunder. In moments it was among the enemy fleet, moving faster than any machine its size should. Its blade of living energy cleaved a cruiser in half. Missiles burst harmlessly against its shifting shields. Each strike echoed like a god's hammer. Kale directed the human fleet with cold precision. Focus fire on their carriers. Break formation. The void erupted with fire. Council vessels fell, burning as gravity pulled them into Earth's atmosphere. For the first time, the predators felt prey's teeth. Vareth appeared on comms, his spine form rigid with fury. "What have you done, human? What is that abomination?" Kale's reply was ice. "It's what you feared. You killed our child, tried to break us. Instead, you woke what was buried." The Chancellor hissed. "You've doomed yourselves. The Council will unite to end you." Kale leaned forward, every word a promise. "Then they'll find humanity doesn't die quietly." The battle raged. The warrior tore through dreadnoughts, carving paths for Earth's smaller ships. Humanity fought with desperate resolve, every pilot, every gunner refusing surrender. Losses were heavy, but so were the Council's. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy's armadas bled before a single world. At last, silence fell. Half the enemy fleet lay in ruin, the survivors retreating into the void. The warrior drifted above Earth, its armor scorched but unbroken. Kale stood in the command center, breathing hard, listening to the stunned voices of Earth's crews. No cheers, no triumph, only disbelief. They were alive. Against the galaxy's will, they still stood. Later, Kale walked the ruins of the hangar, debris scattered from the clash. The warrior stood waiting, silent once more. Its voice came softly, almost weary. "You have chosen survival over peace. The galaxy will never forgive this." Kale's gaze was steady. "Then let them hate us. We didn't ask for this war. But if they come again, we'll be ready." The warrior lowered its head, as though acknowledging. "So be it. From this day, humanity is no longer a shadow at their table. You are flame. And flame burns." Kale stepped closer, placing a hand on the Colossus's scarred armor. He thought of Leora, her laughter silenced in the council chamber, her blood staining marble floors. This victory would not bring her back. Nothing would. But it had carved her name into history. He looked to the stars, now wary and hostile. The council would regroup, would come again. Yet Earth was no longer underestimated. "They wanted us broken," he murmured. "Instead, they've made us warriors." The warrior's eyes glowed faintly, reflecting Kale's own resolve. In that moment, man and construct were one, symbols of a species the galaxy could no longer ignore. The dawn broke across Antarctica, light spilling over ice and steel. Humanity's future had changed forever.